For most, there probably isn't much doubt about whether Weyard is flat or not. When you reach the edge, you just find nothing but waterfalls pouring into a canopy of clouds, for as far as the eye can see, and on the map, it just looks like a flat circle floating upon clouds. However, many things in the Golden Sun games are at odds with Weyard being truly flat. During multiple summons, we can see spherical stars and planets, and dungeons dedicated to solar bodies portray them as spheres, and Weyard's surface is shown to be curved. The addition of a day-night cycle identical to one seen on a spherical planet, an issue of having the edges of your world be waterfalls, and a lot of questions need to be raised. After all, if the waterfalls must fall into an infinite abyss, the water level should be rapidly dropping since it is not being replenished, which may actually have some relation to Weyard shrinking. However, it would still be shrinking far too slowly. Weyard would need to have some way of replenishing the water supply, which alchemy could do, except alchemy is sealed, so only trivial amounts of water could be conceivably produced. Perhaps just enough to keep the falls flowing if Weyard is bowl-shaped toward its edges, continuing to erode the edges of the bowl as time passes, slowly decreasing the size of the oceans, as long as the four elements cannot be maintained against entropy. This still would not answer the question of what is creating gravitational pull beneath Weyard, or where the water is going to not collect over time. Perhaps Weyard is a curved, floating island hovering over the surface of a planet, and the ancient adepts have some kind of mechanism in place that pumps the water back up to Weyard. It is also possible the shape of Weyard could answer these questions. If Weyard was a dome or half circle, it would explain the curved surface, and if the underside of the dome was dense and funnel-shaped, it could automatically pull the massive amount of fallen water back up to the side we see to flow over the edges over and over. There is one other hypothetical shape, however. Weyard could be an ellipse shaped somewhat like a squished, less elliptical football, with a clear edge going all around. On the other side is another set of continents. Perhaps the lighthouses continue straight through the planet, and each side has its own separate alchemy that controls its own elements, which honestly is a sequel waiting to happen. Oh, but you who asked how the edges could be falls. There are several ways, completely hypothetical. The edge I spoke of on this ellipse could come to a joint and be incredibly dense, having enough gravitational pull to make the water fall over the edge, and some form of adept-made or natural irrigation system could pump each side's water back up to it. Or the geological surface could resemble two bowls touching at their bases, vaguely looking like a squished dumbbell without the water. So the water would fall over the edge, arc, and be sucked into a fissure between the sides and flow back into the two bowls. What kind of shape do you think would be most plausible? And which would make for the most interesting sequels, in your opinion?